Few years ago, I had a watershed moment in my life which altered the course of it forever. I visited a village, a very small village, mainly inhabited by the primitive tribal group members, to help an NGO to raise funds for their social cause. At that time, I was working for corporate sector and used to connect NGOs with the corporate donors. It was my way of giving back to the society, and I used to feel that I am discharging my duties as a responsible citizen. However, that visit to that village made me realize that I could not be any further from truth. The villagers were living in absolute and extreme poverty. It was shocking for me to see that while I had 3 sets of clothes for a day visit, there were 3 sisters in the village who were sharing one proper set of clothes amongst them. What came after this shook me more strongly. It was shocking to see that girls as young as 6-year-old were offered to me for a very small amount of money by their own parents. It was the worst kind of human right violation I have witnessed. Being a student of economics, the data and statistics on poverty, it's not new for me. I have even experienced poverty and hunger from close quarters as a very small child. When I was 9-year-old, destiny threw me out of the comfort of my home and in a situation where I had to work as a child laborer in a soap factory to survive. I knew how it feels when you are hungry. I knew how it feels when there is no possibility of having food. I knew how an empty stomach forces you to make compromises in life. But still, I could not justify the reasons which were compelling the parents to sell their minor daughters to fight for their poverty. My mother had no money, no proper education, not even place to live in. But she fought with the circumstances with grit and determination. Instead of sending me to earn a living, she sent me to school. She was very categorical that education is the only luxury she could afford for me at that stage. Even 2 times a meal came next to my education. I couldn't help thinking that day that what have been my fate if my mother too had given into the social economic pressures and sold me off. I realized standing there in the village that how fortunate I was and how unfortunate those girls were. All of this left an indelible and profound impact on my thoughts and emotions. I came back to Delhi, but those mental images kept haunting me. I could effortlessly spot these girls all around me, whether it was in malls, markets, religious places, even in the newspaper reports of exploitation of domestic labor, human trafficking, sex slavery, organ trade, etc. I couldn't connect with my corporate lifestyle anymore. I bid adieu to my job and took up the cause of helping these girls. I traveled far and wide and soon got an understanding of the supply and demand network of human trafficking, which is prevalent and pervasive not only in tribal areas but also right here in metro cities. In fact, the demand for these young girls is driven by the city dwellers. I realized that unknowingly and unintentionally, we all are contributing to the menace of modern day slavery by demanding underage girls from agents who violate all possible human rights of these girls and laws of the land. Many a times, these girls don't live to dream and dream big in life. Instead, they dream to live their life. I wanted these young, energetic and strong girls to start dreaming. I wanted a new sunrise, a sunrise which will happen by their own collective efforts and not by the charity of others. I wanted them to live a life of freedom and self-respect. This dream of mine led to the inception of Ahan Foundation. Ahan literally means new dawn. Ahan was a symbol of new beginning, not for the girls only, but for me as well. It gave a new meaning to my life. My first step was to get a set of girls, work with them and win their trust. Trust was very important because I was an outsider and coming from Delhi, which is known as a hub for trafficking. To make them talk to me, I offered them something which is irresistible to all of us, especially when we are hungry, samosas and gulab jamuns. I offered it after every end of my chatting sessions, where we encouraged them to talk about their stories, to share their stories with us. Gradually, we started winning the trust. The girls started opening up and looking forward to such chat sessions. Along with the mothers and daughters, also came their fathers, husbands, and traffickers, who thought that I was a leader of a gang of organized traffickers and trying to lure not only the girls but also their mothers this time, and that also without making any payment to them. Soon they realized that I wasn't one of the traffickers. Instead, I was going to disturb their system. I was going to train the girls to fight for their own right. Initially, it was hard to convince the girls that they have the power to bring the change. I started with a year-round mentoring program for them, where we took lots of role models with us and make them interacted with each other. Gradually, the change started coming in. The dream that my brave hearts will bring a sunrise by their own collective efforts was becoming a reality. I am proud to share that today, members of Ahan family are working as sales professionals in corporates, as nurses, as teachers, even as professional football players. The journey of making change leaders has been exciting, full of learnings and full of challenges. It is not easy to reach these far-flung communities, and also we have to survive the opposition and threat of their relatives, traffickers and local leaders who don't want to stop this insanely profitable business of trading in humans. However, my biggest challenge till date is the fact that neither the people who demand for these girls nor the people who cater to this illegitimate demand treat trafficking as a crime or a human right violation. It is difficult to make urban people understand that when they hire an underage girl, even if they are not abusing her and are treating her well, they are killing her right to educate, grow and dream. My biggest experiential learning was that we do not need too much funds and an army of people to bring the change. When I started Ahan Foundation, people warned me about its imminent failure due to lack of a business model, my inexperience of working in social sector and no clue about the tribals in India. However, we not only started off but sustained all the activities without any external funds. The prime reason perhaps is that we focused more on the business model. We worked on the impact model. Instead of focusing on balance sheet, we focused on impact sheet, which measures how much change we are bringing in the lives and mindsets of tribal girls and their family members. I do not discount the importance of money. That would be the last thing I would do. However, I believe that ideas do not become success by riding on the rationale of money and bank balance alone. Ideas become a success by running on the currency of good intention and belief. Today, a single step of mine had grown into a synchronized march of a strong team of change leaders, equipped and capable to bring change not only in their own lives, but also in the lives of their fellow citizens. And I am sure in future they will all be remembered for good.